everlasting miracle, it's Eamon Holmes! He waxes satirical, it's Hugh Dennis! And their team captain, Lee Mack! And facing on tonight, I can't say his name, it's Peter Serafinowicz! Peep Show fame, it's Olivia Colman! And their team captain, David Mitchell! But first, permanently damage your larynxes in appreciation of your host, Angus Deaton!
Good evening and welcome to Would I Lie to You, the show that conceals more harsh truths than Anne Robinson's surgeon. Lie detector tests are the best known way of telling if someone is lying. They measure blood pressure, perspiration and GMTV ratings. And the most common lies told to cover up a mistake at work include I never got the email, it wasn't my responsibility, and well, he looked like a terrorist. And so to round one, Home Truths, where our panellists take it in turns to read out a statement from the card in front of them. To make it extra difficult, they haven't seen the card yet, so don't know if it contains a truth or a hideous lie that we've just made up for them. All will become clear in due course. 28 minutes normally does it. Eamon gets the short straw and is therefore first, so Eamon, fire away.
I have an identical twin called Jimmy. Jimmy lives in Canada.
Jimmy Holmes.
Jimmy Holmes.
Jimmy Holmes.
James, actually. It was christened James.
Right.
What does he do there?
He sells insurance. He does. And I'll tell you where he sells it. He sells it in that CN Tower in Montreal.
Right, wow.
Who was born first?
Jimmy was out by 2 seconds or so before me.
2 seconds?
Wow. So what are the differences between you? Would you look absolutely identical, or...?
He's very handsome as well, yeah?
Is he married?
Yes.
What's his
Eleanor.
wife? Oh. Do they have children?
Yes.
What are they called?
I don't know. They live in Canada. I don't really know.
But do you sort of have that twin thing of, you know, if Lee were to punch you in the face, would he, you know, wake up in Canada worrying about making his insurance targets, but in fact it would be because Lee'd hit you? You must be in constant pain being separated from your twin by thousands of miles and, you know, huge amounts of relative celebrity. Because he's very well known for his insurance work, I believe.
Apparently he sits next to a woman in the insurance office that he really doesn't like called Andrea Turner. Is that true?
Half true. What would be great is if we all said lie, and then you said, ladies and gentlemen, Jimmy Holmes!
But when you look round, Eamon wasn't there. He just slid round the back.
So David, and co.
I think lie.
Yeah,
Lie.
clearly it's a lie, yeah.
We think it's a lie.
They're saying it's a lie. Eamon, reveal the truth.
Thank God it's a lie.
It is a lie. Yes, it is a lie. Eamon does not have an identical twin called Jimmy, who lives in Canada. Canada is, of course, the home of Celine Dion, Bryan Adams and Shania Twain, and to think we wasted our time bombing Iraq. Peter, your home truth.
Okay. In an advert starring Pele, my voice was passed off as his voice.
What was the advert about?
It was a...
Yes.
Was it about football?
You know, it was about a medical thing.
It wasn't this advert that Pele did for impotence, was it?
Yes, it was.
Was it really?
Yeah.
Because he famously did an advert for impotence, didn't he, Pele?
What, for people who wanted to be impotent? How does that work?
Tired of being a slave to your cock? Cut it off and eat it. Like Pele.
Why have I never seen this advert? Where did you see this advert?
Well, Pele did an advert for impotence about 5 or 6 years ago. That bit is true. I mean, that bit is absolutely
I'm not
true.
really in the target market, you know what I mean?
Yeah, hang on, to be fair, I wasn't sitting at home after Coronation Street going, shh, this is for me. Did you do like a slogan or something at the end? Or the whole voice was you?
It was mostly me, yeah.
Why wasn't it Pele?
Because he's got a really quite a thick Bristol accent.
What did you have to say?
It was something like, after a football game, the players like to talk to each other about a lot of things, but one thing they don't like to talk about is erection problems.
So, Lee and team.
Well, he does. I think he does lots of voice work, doesn't he?
That's
Do you
an
do-
absolute lie, Hugh.
I think he did it.
I think he does.
I thought Pelly's English is not good.
I think he's telling the truth.
OK, well then I will go with my team and say that
OK, they're saying
Peter is
it's
in fact
true.
the voice of impotence.
Right. Peter, tell us all.
And you're the voice of impudence. It's true.
Yes, it is true. Peter was the voice of Pele in his advert for male impotence. Companies think carefully about who should endorse their products. If it's men's cosmetics, they get David Beckham. If it's women's fragrance, they get Scarlett Johansson. And if it's frozen sheep's offal in batter, they get Kerry Katona. So, Hugh, your fascinating factoid.
Kellogg's offered me a job in their development department after I sent them a list of new cereal ideas.
Okay. Right, give us a rundown of some of the cereal ideas you sent.
I sent them various ideas for sugar puffs. The problem with sugar puffs is that they float. You can't fill a bowl with sugar puffs because the sugar puff, So you basically have a bowl of milk, don't you? And the sugar puffs all rise to the top.
Are you saying if you fill a bowl with sugar puffs and then
Yeah,
put
they all
the
go-
milk on, the buoyancy of the underlying sugar puffs forces the ones on the top out of the bowl?
No, it doesn't force them out of the bowl, but
They float.
But they float. You can't get much milk in. You can't get as much milk as you want in, or if you put too much milk in, they do go. Ugh.
So one of the things was a new heavier sugar puff.
Yeah, and it was
How
a
did you
sugar puff.
propose to do that, then?
Yeah.
You put a raisin in them.
How would you get the raisin inside? Because, like, a raisin is, like, the same size as a sugar puff. How would you get that inside?
All sugar puffs are. They're puffed wheat, aren't they? So you get a kernel of wheat, and you essentially blow air into it, so it just goes. That's all it is. It's no good for you. So if at the point that you go, you fire a raisin into it. It sounds ridiculous, isn't it?
And they offered you a job.
They offered me a job developing solutions to problems with cereal.
What are the problems?
The problems are that cornflakes go soggy too quickly.
And what was your solution? Lamination.
So they look. So it is essentially finding a way of making them a bit more like a Frosty, but without covering them in sugar, because there's a health aspect to a cornflake that there isn't to a.
So I've always thought
To
that
a
with
Frosty.
Cocoa Pops, when they first made Cocoa Pops, they put milk on it and they thought, oh no, all the colour's running. And then someone went, no, we can turn this to our advantage. I'm believing this.
Yeah, me too.
You seem to know quite a lot about your cereal.
I think we think it's true.
Yeah,
OK, they're saying
definitely.
it's true. Hugh, truth or tripe?
It's a lie.
It's a lie. Kellogg's did not offer Hugh a job in their development department. The elusive goal of modern breakfast cereal manufacturing is to try and raise the sugar content above its current level of 115%. Our next round is called Ring of Truth, in which I read out some celebrity facts. Our teams decide if they're true or not, and our audience sit there waiting for it all to end. David's team is the first. Wayne Rooney and Colleen McLaughlin got engaged in a petrol station. Is that true?
Wayne Rooney is a man whose skills are vastly overvalued by our society. He can't even count up to the amount of money he's got. And he's going to do a lot of crazy things.
Well, they went out for Chinese, apparently, and then they decided against it. They pulled into a service station. So got engaged on the forecourt.